Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Hannah and welcome to my kitchen again. I'm actually really grateful to be able to welcome you back to my kitchen because today we are putting my kitchen back together after having an emergency in here. So in my last video I said that we had an emergency. And it's very true. We had an emergency. No fire or anything, thankfully. But a squirrel died in our cabinet. And I actually want to be clear that it didn't die in the cabinet. It died in like the soffit box. So basically these are brand new cabinets, okay? This is all new. Our old cabinets looked like that. Up here, this is a soffit box, so it's not usable whatsoever. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just not usable. But on this side of the kitchen, in the old cabinets, in the soffit box, a squirrel died in there. Yeah, a squirrel died in there. And as you can imagine, that was disgusting. And we had to fix it right away. I'm going to be as concise as possible when I tell you the story about it and like what happened and stuff. And also, if you're squeamish, maybe you don't want to watch the explanation and you just want to watch me clean up our kitchen and put it back together, which is totally fine. I understand. Skip forward to that if you want. But for those of you that want to know, and just so I can have for memory's sake, although will I actually want to know what happened or remember this? I don't know, but I'm going to tell you anyway. All during the fall and during the first half of this winter, we have had squirrels running on our roof and in our attic for sure, both. They would keep Kate up at night and keep Kate up during nap time and wake him up at nap time. It was terrible. It was really bad. What we didn't know was that in the old cabinets, I want to be clear that these are brand new cabinets, so there's no dead squirrel anything with this, okay? And none of those cabinets were harmed. So how did this squirrel get into the cabinets or into the soffit box? Well, that's a very good question. And why this happened in the first place is a very good question. I don't know. So basically, we have holes on the outside of our house. Why? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you a lot of why we have a lot of what's happening in our house. So basically, we had to rip all of the cabinets out because there was a dead squirrel in the cabinet. When we were taking it out, there was a hole in the ceiling that led into the attic, and then that hole in the ceiling led into the soffit box. And then in the bottom part of the soffit box, which was also the ceiling to the cabinet, there was a hole in there. But the previous owners patched it up with like particle board or something like that. And it was all because this vent thing was a different style, so it was like the one that had like a funnel that went all the way up. But when they took it out, they didn't patch the hole from the ceiling to the house and then the soffit box and all that stuff. So that's how the squirrel got into the soffit box. Here's how I found out that there was a dead squirrel in our cabinet. Let me back up a little bit. In one of my last videos, I think it was like my massive to-do list video, during one of the days when I was cooking dinner, I heard the squirrel in the attic, but I had my suspicions that it was like in the soffit box because it was so loud. It didn't sound like it was in the attic. But we didn't go explore. We just, we thought, okay, it'll escape, it'll be fine. Well, a couple days had passed and we didn't hear anything. Rob patched up all the holes. What we didn't know is he actually trapped it in there. And yeah. So we leave. We think the squirrel's gone. We leave for a week and a half or so. And when we get back, I cooked dinner just like normal. Everything's fine. Didn't notice anything bad. We got very lucky that night. But the next morning when I was doing the dishes with Cade, like unloading the dishwasher and stuff, I looked over at the stove and there were maggots on the stove. And I was like, what? How did that happen? And I was like, okay, so I will take care of it in a second. I need to finish these dishes. And then, so I looked away for like a couple minutes and I looked back and there were more. And I was like, okay, we're done doing dishes. I'm gonna take care of this right now. I texted Rob, took a picture, and I was like, that's maggots. Why are there maggots on the stove? And yeah, it's because the squirrel died. And because since there was holes from the ceiling to the soffit box and then into the cabinet, that's how they were coming down. That's how they were coming down and like crawling all over our counter and everything. So unfortunately, we could only fix like the counter and then this tile. It was something that we weren't planning on doing, but upon ripping everything off the wall, we figured we needed to just take off that the old tile and put on new tile, and it looks so good now. I'm very happy with all of the new things that we got. Like even this is new because the maggots were falling from the old one. And I would have been paranoid if we left it. So we just got brand new everything. So no squirrel, anything has touched that. Every hole is patched up now. That's behind the cabinet and up in the ceiling. The sucky part is we couldn't actually really afford to do this. This was an emergency, like I said. And by the grace of God, we had just enough to be able to get new cabinets over here. And I'm so thankful that we could. And I love, 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 love the way it turned out. Unfortunately, the stove top and the counter is all the same because we can't afford to redo our whole entire kitchen. But no worries, we have Cloroxed and bleached it about 7 times now, and I've donned it and everything. Unfortunately, it does make me a little squeamish and a little bit paranoid still, but we have looked everywhere, we've cleaned everything. There's no maggots, there's no anything anymore. With that being said, I need to put my kitchen back together. I think that's a good enough explanation of what all happened and why my kitchen looks different now and what the emergency was. Right now, I need to put my kitchen back together. Our dining room table is piled high with all of the stuff that was in the old cabinets. And I need to put it all back because we need to be able to use our table. Yeah, just like our dining room and kitchen just became a construction zone and we couldn't use it for like a week. So I gotta fix it, I gotta put it back together. And it's definitely stressing Cade out too. So yeah, it needs to get done. We just finished it yesterday, I think. So yeah, I'm getting on top of it. I don't really have a plan of attack. Let me just show you the table. So that's our dining room and that's our table, just piled high with all of the spices and stuff that belongs in the cabinets. So I think I'm gonna start with the spice drawer or the spice cabinet. So I'm gonna pull all of them out and organize that shelf. And then honestly, I have no idea where to go from there. Here's what I have so far. These are extra seasonings, and these are seasonings that aren't extra but also can't fit up here. This is pretty much how I had it in the old cabinet, and I really like it like this because I know it like this, so it's gonna stay that way. The extras and non-extras are gonna go on this second shelf. I need to get the sawdust out. but I'm gonna put them up here. And then after that, I'm switching my game plan, and everything that is on the table over there is gonna come over here on the counter. I bet I have to clean the counter off and like wipe it down and wash it and all that stuff. So I do that, then I'm going to actually take a break, cook dinner, and then get back to it. On camera? Yeah. All right. So we are on day 2 now of putting our kitchen back together. Kate is having breakfast. I am not put together or dressed in anything nice because I figured I should just get up, get Kate up, give him breakfast, and get started on putting our kitchen back together. Is that toast good? Yeah, okay. All right, you eat your toast. Mommy's got work to do. So I'm basically putting things back how they were in our old cabinets because it's what I'm used to, it's what I know. The only thing is now we have usable space way up there, but I have no idea what to put in there. Right now I'm thinking my cookbooks because I obviously don't use my cookbooks every day. I would love for them to be on display, specifically my Magnolia table and Pioneer Woman books, but we don't have any cute shelves to put them on display in. So I'm thinking possibly putting the cookbooks way up there. I'll have to stand on a stool or like even our ladder to be able to reach it, but that's okay. So this cabinet over here is like spices and salt and things that I would need for like cooking and stuff. And this one is like baking and stuff. And then this is like rice, oats, and things like that. I don't really know exactly how to explain that cabinet, but oh, flour, sugar, all of that stuff. So anyway, I am just going to start rapid fire putting things back into the cabinets because it needs to happen. here is all that I have left. And this is like extra stuff that we brought home while the squirrel died. So I don't really exactly know what to do with it. I'm going to ask Rob when he gets home. So we're just gonna leave it right there. This is an empty spice jar, which we want to clean out. We kind of want to actually use these as spice jars, but we're too cheap to buy them off of Amazon. Also don't have the money to do that. So whenever we use up a square spice jar, we clean them out and switch them out for a different spice. So anyway, I think I'm just gonna leave these. I'm actually gonna put these on the stove, I think. But other than that, all of our produce, like fruits and potatoes, stay right there. These will stay right here because I'm working on making freezer meals and stuff. And then I have my cookbooks and 2 things to go in the pantry, or 1 thing to go in the pantry. So, and then once all of the finishing touches on this is done, I need to sweep and mop the floor because there's sawdust everywhere, and then put the table back into its correct spot. And then, you guys, I think my kitchen will be restored back to its normal order. Hey, can you get out of the cabinet, please?
No cow.
Huh?
Cow.
There's no cow in there.
Cow.
Oh, the cars. No, let's not get those out. You close the door? Oh, okay, thank you. All right, so I took a shower break, but order has been restored in my kitchen, mostly. I've at least got everything back in the cabinets, and I was going to show you really quick. This is actually the last of the stuff that I'm not quite sure what to do with because we brought it back home with us, so it never had a spot to begin with, so we will figure out something to do with it, you know, like eat it probably. So anyway, yes, beautiful new cabinets. Right here are my oils and some vinegars, you know, just I need really quick type things. I love having that there. And then my spices, and then my extras, but this isn't an extra, but it's too tall to go back where I originally had it in the other cabinets, but the other cabinets were like longer, I guess. I'm not really sure what to, like, how to explain that, but anyway, so these are like extras. Over on this side is not extras. It's like, you know, bouillon cubes, seasoning packets and stuff like that, but this side is extras. And then up there we have extra smoked salt, got some flax seeds, chia seeds, and extra bouillon cubes. So that shelf is kind of like really empty, but that's okay. I kind of like it that way. So yeah, so there's that drawer or cabinet. The next cabinet is our middle cabinet, which just has, you know, basics, everyday grabbing things. Love it. And then in this cabinet we have baking goods and toothpicks and fancy peanut butter, Nutella, ice cream packets, measuring jars and measuring cups, they're cat ones, and then some mixing bowls up there. So this one's a little bit empty, a little bit different than how I had it, but don't mind it. And then because I'm a short thing, I can't actually reach it. I'd have to get the ladder out again, but that door, or those two, have my cookbooks in it, so you'll just have to believe me. So the cabinet has been restored to order, and our table has been restored to order. The last thing I need to do, is to sweep the floor and mop because there's so much sawdust everywhere. But that's okay, we will get it taken care of, and then yeah, and I mean, we'll be good to go back how we were. Rob is dumping the water out in the yard because our sink has dishes in it and he doesn't want to dump the dirty water on there. But look, it's icing in the south. So the kitchen is done, and there's still some messes in every other spot, like in the sink. I gotta do the dishes, and then like the counter has some stuff on it, but my floors are clean and those cabinets are filled. And yes, oh, I'm going to put the table back where it goes. But anyway, I'm actually gonna end the video here. So thanks for joining me and coming to see what our emergency in our kitchen was, and thanks for sticking around with me while I put it back together. So anyway, yeah, just thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Say something like you love me and make my day, like you always do, like you always do. Hold my hand and look me in the eyes so I can tell you how I feel, tell you how I feel.